All right, I am making a little video explaining how I work with my Blazar Mantis 1.33 times anamorphic lenses, and I'm doing so because the lenses kind of lie to you. They are not 1.33, they are more like 1.38, and that is confirmed by Blazar on their website somewhere. So I have just some clips on my timeline of some trucks that I got when I went to QT and some faces that I got on a commercial I shot for the Beaumont Heritage Society and their museum. I'm doing that because sometimes it's easier to see the difference the stretch factor makes in faces than inanimate objects. So I've got all my clips selected. If I go to them and I go to clip attributes, you would think you'd be able to go to the pixel aspect ratio and change it to 1.33 as you see on the lenses. And with the truck, I mean, you can't really tell. I mean, it looks pretty normal. But if you're looking at people, it still looks a little bit stretched out. It's not like crazy. It's not like Funhouse Mirror like it was before we de-squeezed it. But if we go and do clip attributes and change it again, this time we're going to do custom. And I noticed it was 1.33 repeating. I never knew that before. 1.38. It's just going to be a subtle change. There we go. That looks more true to life. So you want to make sure that when you're working with this footage, I have different zooms applied to these, if you're wondering why the aspect ratio is changing. Because this is the second attempt of me trying to do this video. Anyway, another trick I like to use is I go to effects, and then I have this plugin called Mononode's Blanking Presets. I got this from some German colorist I found on YouTube, and I'll try to leave a link in the comments or in the description of the video because I think it's really useful. And I will just drag and drop that and put it on top of my footage. And so there we go. We have different aspect ratio, and you can choose from a lot of the standard aspect ratios. When you get into the anamorphic, sometimes these you'll see them more often as like 2.0 to 1 or 2.35 to 1. And to see exactly what it's doing, I'll just make it red. So let's say this one's going on TV. So maybe this wide of an aspect ratio, especially with the corner radius, maybe that's not appropriate. And so we get a little bit wider, maybe we think, okay, you know what, 2.0 to 1, that's probably a happy middle ground. I'm going to scale my footage until it reaches that edge there. 1.23 zoom, and we are there. And then we can make this not red. And we can leave this on if we want and zoom all of our footage up. I could have just selected all of it and done the 1.23. I think that's what it was. And then all of our footage will fit in that aspect ratio, and it will look amazing. Now, you can leave this on there. I will sometimes just leave that on there and make sure all my footage fits. And that's kind of the lazy way to do it. I do like using this to find out which aspect ratio is the most appropriate for the project. And then I'll go to Google and find the pixel aspect ratio and change the whole project to fit that. One last thing I'd like to mention is if we take this, revert it back to how it was, you'll notice that on the FX3 16 by 9 sensor, if we are using the mononodes blanking, make it red again so we can see what it's doing, all of the standard anamorphic aspect ratios, the footage from the Blazar is still going to be a little bit wider. So even if you're going to use 2.40 to 1, I would still want to go into my footage and zoom in a little bit so you cut off just like a sliver of the edges, but that will be a more standard aspect ratio. And so just to finish this off, I'm going to go to 2.0 to 1. I'm going to zoom in to there, almost there. Boom. And then I'm going to remove the model nodes blanking. And I'm actually going to change my timeline settings to 2.0 to 1 4K pixels, or what the aspect ratio is supposed to be. But there we go. We'll save that, and that will change the whole timeline to be the correct aspect ratio. And so when you're going to export it, you just make sure you're exporting it with the timeline resolution. As you can see, that is the resolution we want. And so then you won't bake in the black bars on the top and bottom, which can do weird things. If you're playing on YouTube and on your phone, you see like black bars on the side, on every side, and we don't want that. So this is probably the best way to export this type of footage. That's probably a lot of rambling. I'm going to condense that and put that in the description of the video so it'll be easier to follow along. But if you needed to watch all of it, great. If you didn't, also great. Main thing is the lenses lie. They're 1.38, and the mononodes plugin is amazing, and change your timeline resolution to best match the project after you find out which one you want to shoot in, which also could be a decision you make in pre-production. But anyway, thank you for watching. I hope this helps.